Good morning, students. In this section, we are going to see lesson 4 in geography, that is India resources and industries. Students, before entering into the lesson, please note down all the points which is presented in this video. Then only you can revise and understand the continuity of the lesson. In this lesson, we are going to see the definition of resources, types of resources, different types and distribution of industries in India, and problems of Indian industries. Okay, let's start our lesson. What is resources? Resources means any matter or energy derived from the environment that is used by living things including humans, that is called resources. So resources means anything which is derived from the environment. It may be a solar energy, oil, fish, trees, coal, birds, plants. So any material, anything which is derived from the earth and it is also useful to human being, that is called resources. It is also called natural resources because it is provided by earth. For example, water, air, metals, oil, plant, sunlight. It plays a vital role in the economic development of any region. These resources can be classified into two types. One is renewable resources, another one is non-renewable resources. In the name itself, it has meaning renewable. That is, it can be produced again and again within a short period. So that resources is called renewable resources. For example, solar energy, wind energy. If you use that solar energy, it can be produced within a short period. So that type of resources is called renewable resources. Another one is non-renewable resources that cannot be replaced again after utilization. It takes long period to replace that mineral. That is called non-renewable resources. For example, coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc. Next, minerals. Mineral is a natural substance of organic or inorganic origin with definite chemical and physical properties. That is called mineral. The extraction of minerals. The process of extracting minerals from the earth is called mining. If the minerals is extracted behind, that is near the earth crust, that is called open pit mining. If it is done in the underground mining, that is called shaft mines. These minerals can be classified into two types. One is metallic mineral, another one is non-metallic mineral. Metallic mineral or mineral that contain metals in their ore form. Non-metallic minerals means minerals that do not contain any metal elements in their compounds. Metallic minerals have a shine of their own, but non-metallic minerals do not have a shine of their own. Metals can be extracted by melting the metallic minerals. Non-metallic minerals do not yield new product upon melting. Let's see some metallic minerals one by one. First one is iron ore. Iron ore is the most widely distributed elements of the earth crust, rarely occur in a free state. It enters into the composition of rocks, especially igneous rocks and metamorphic rocks. So the iron ore is abundantly present in igneous rock and metamorphic rocks. Iron ore contains two minerals. One is hematite. Hematite is a reddish black mineral consisting of ferric oxide. Ferric means iron oxide. It is an important ore of iron. Hematite name is derived from the Greek word for blood in allusion to its red color. Because of the red color of this mineral, it is called as hematite. This name is derived from the Greek word. Next one is magnetite. It is a rock mineral and one of the main ore form. It is found in large quantities in beach sand. So this is the place where the iron ore is mining. So in India, the leading producers of iron ore are Jharkhand, Odisha, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and so on. So these are the leading producers of iron ore in our country. Next, manganese. It is a silvery grey element. It is very hard and brittle in nature. Brittle means breakable. It is always available in combination of iron ore, laterite, and other minerals. It is also a basic raw material for the manufacturing of iron and steel. So 10 kg of manganese is used for manufacturing 1 ton of steel. It is also used for the manufacturing of bleaching powder, insecticides, paint, and batteries. In India, largest producer of manganese ore is Odisha, following that Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Goa, and Andhra Pradesh are also a producer of manganese. India is the fifth largest producer of manganese in the world. Next, copper. It is the first metal that prehistoric man has started using for many purposes. Being flexible, it can be made into vessels of any shape. So it is used in prehistoric time. It is a good conductor of electricity and also it is a thermal conductor. Copper is reddish orange in color, but when it hits air, it turns brown. The leading producers of copper in India are Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and Jharkhand. Next, bauxite. It is an important ore from which aluminium is extracted. It is found in the rock consisting mainly of hydrated aluminium oxides. Bauxite is widely distributed as surface deposit in the areas of laterite soil. Being light in weight and tough, aluminium is used in the manufacture of aircraft and automobile engines. Bauxite is also used in the manufacture of cement and chemicals. Next, we will see non-metallic minerals. Non-metallic minerals means minerals do not contain metal in their ore form. Some of the non-metallic minerals are mica. It is a translucent, easily splittable into thin sheets, flat, colorless, elastic, and incompressible. It is used in Ayurvedic medicine in ancient time. It is also used in making of insulating properties as it withstands high voltage and has low power loss factor. Since it is non-conductor of electricity, it is exclusively used in electrical goods. It is also used in making of lubricant, medicines, paint and varnishes. The major deposits of mica are found in Andhra Pradesh, Rajasthan, Odisha and Jharkhand. Next, limestone. It is associated with rocks composed of calcium carbonate or double carbonate of calcium and magnesium or mixture of both. Limestone is used in the industries of chemicals for soda ash, caustic soda, so on. It is also used in the construction field. So it can used as mortar, that is cement and water plus sand. It is also used as a neutralize acidic soils and lake. It is also used in glass manufacturing and construction of building and roads. The other uses of limestone is it is added to toothpaste, paper, plastic, paint, tiles and other materials as both white pigment and a cheap filler. It is also act as a reagent in flue gas desulfurization. It reacts with sulfur dioxide for air pollution control. Next, gypsum. It is a hydrated sulfate of calcium which occurs as white, opaque and transparent minerals in beds of sedimentary rocks. It is also used in low thermal conductivity is used in making dry walls. It is also used in plaster of Paris. The other uses of gypsum is it is used in cement content. It is also present in toothpaste manufacture, is used as agriculture fertilizer and so on. Next, we are going to see energy resources. The resources from which the electricity generated are called energy resources. Electricity is an important component of our life. No day-to-day activity takes without the use of this energy. So, energy resource plays an important role for the production of electricity. Let's see one by one. In energy resources, first we are going to see renewable energy. Renewable energy means I already said renewable. The energy which can produce again and again within a short period, that energy is called renewable energy. In that category, we are going to see hydro energy, wind energy, solar energy, biomass and geothermal energy. First, we are going to see hydro energy. Hydroelectric energy is energy produced from moving water. Students, already you know the hydroelectric power is generated from the movement of water. Accounts of 20% of the world's electricity is produced from hydroelectric power. A dam is built across a river to hold the reservoir of water. Based on the speed of water, the electricity will be produced. When the water is released, it turns a turbine which generates electricity. Next, solar energy. Solar energy is a power from the sun. All renewable energy comes directly or indirectly from the sun. This energy is enough to power the wind, plant growth and water cycle. So solar energy is not only used for the production of electricity, it is also used for wind, growth of plant and water cycle. This solar energy is classified into two types. One is passive solar heating and active solar heating. In passive solar heating, it uses the sun directly to heat something directly. So, in this, we can feel when we sit near the window during the sunny days, we feel that heat. So, that is called passive solar heating. So, large windows facing the sun, it generates some heat in our body. That is called passive solar heating. Next is active solar heating. It uses collectors on the roof. It is used to heat water or the building. So by using solar panels, the heat, that is the electricity, is produced from the solar energy. That electricity is used for personal uses, that is home purpose. That solar panels contain photovoltaic cells. These solar cells that use a semiconductor, they convert the sun energy into electricity. Meeting the needs of a small city would require covering hundreds of acres of solar panels. So a small city needs hundreds of solar panels. From that solar panels, that city can acquire electricity for the purpose. Energy production from solar cells has doubled. They are becoming more efficient and less expensive. So, it is the solar energy produced from the sun rays, it is more efficient and less expensive. Next, wind power. This wind power is cheap and abundant. It converts the movement of wind into electric energy. New turbines are cost effective. So what is wind farms? It is a large array of wind turbines. Turbines means the pillars like structures. Take up little space. It is convenient for farmers. And also it problem is transporting electricity from rural areas to urban centers. In future, electricity may be used on the wind farm to produce hydrogen from water. The next important energy resource is biomass. It is a power from living things. So in that the plant materials, manure, any organic matter that is used as energy is called biomass fuel. So this biomass fuel is produced from wood and cow dung. It is also used for heating and cooking. This habitat loss, deforestation and soil erosion are disadvantage of biomass fuel. So it is nothing but the wood which we used for heating some materials is called biomass. So the plant material which is used for in our home purpose, that is called biomass. Next, methane. Methane can be used to generate electricity and heat. This biogas digesters ferment manure and produce methane. So you can see when the waste materials dumped in the place, when you open that place, that some kind of gas will be released. So that gas is called methane. Dung fire powder stations produce electricity. Methane from landfills can generate electricity. Then alcohol. So ethanol can be made by fermenting fruit or agricultural waste. In US, corn is major source for the production of alcohol. So gasohol is a blend of gas and ethanol for gas. Produces less air pollution. Next important thing is tidal power. It is used to generate electricity in France, Russia and Canada. It works like a hydroelectric dam. As the tide rises, water is trapped behind the dam. At low tide, water rushes through the dam and spins a turbine which generate electricity. Okay students, I hope you all understood today's portion. If you have any doubt, means note it in your notebook. Here I gave some evaluation. Try to answer this question. That is, define resources. What are the types of resources? Define minerals. What are the types of minerals? Define solar energy. Thank you.